This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week.
Amy Roberts.
Charlotte Craig.
Now, you're half of a team of 4 who are doing one thing, but basically the whole of Corby Glen is doing something to actually help this area that we're looking at here.
Yeah, everyone's getting together to try and raise funds to try and get a new play park for all of the children in Corby Glen and local villages.
Are there quite a few children here?
Yeah, there's a good few hundred here, isn't there? And then the surrounding villages, we're trying to support them all really and get them outside and being active again.
And the whole total of what this is going to cost is quite substantial, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be 31,000 we're going to be spending here if we can raise it.
So tell us about your race, your run that you're doing.
The mud run, I think it's, am I right, Amy, 5 miles? Yeah. 5 mile run through mud. There's going to be horse-style jumps for us to go over, rivers to run through, lots of different obstacle courses. It's going to be quite tough, bit of a slog, but we're excited about it, aren't we?
You're looking for people to sponsor you for that initially?
Yeah, we've got an online page with Just Giving, crowdfunding, and anybody that would like to hand in any money that they can just to help supporters get us around, really. We've smashed the 1,000 target last night, so that was a real big achievement. So, yeah, we're getting there.
What's the address for that, do you know?
crowdfunding.justgiving.com/Amy-Roberts 2016.
OK, I'll pop that on my blog, that's the easiest. This is only one event that actually is going to help this, isn't it?
Yeah, lots of the community people are getting together to try and do little events, so the schools are hopefully doing non-uniform days. We've got a baking afternoon for adults to come and enjoy a piece of cake and a cup of tea, and then for the children to come down and enjoy a sandwich and cake making and decorating, as well as then the big luncheon with the Queen celebrations.
So literally between now and the summer you're hoping to actually get that money. You've got some match funding as well though.
Yep, we've got 10,000 now that's been granted from SKDC, which was a fantastic start, and now we're waiting for REN, which is the end of April, to see if we get the rest of the 21,000. And once we got that, it's all systems go with getting play park in about 6 to 8 weeks after that.
So who are REN then?
REN are the Waste Recycling Environment. Because we're within a landfill site at 10 miles, then they can grant funding.
What difference is it going to make? I mean, we can see there's a little house with a slide, another slide, there's some swings.
Sort of a rocking horse. Well, children like engaging equipment, they like exciting things they can climb. The equipment here at the moment is quite old-fashioned, times have moved on, it's a bit dilapidated. It's hard if you're listening to the radio, but it doesn't look very nice. The paint's peeling. It's not exciting children. It's not getting the children down here. We're in 5 minutes of a school, and it's a shame there's nothing that the children can use in the summer. After school, you've got parents picking children up with small children who need to kill some time, and it would be nice for them to have somewhere to take the children.
So what sort of stuff are you getting then, or hoping to get?
We're hoping to get a nice big climbing frame for them, which has got a climbing wall on. We're getting new swings, because those swings have been there 30 odd years. We're getting the balance beams, so we're going to have a balancing area for different abilities. We had a tree come down recently due to it not being very well, and we've taken a trunk of that to use as a log for sensory and to make into a bench. So it's trying to use what we have around the village as well as getting this new stuff coming in.
That's an ambitious project, very best of luck with it. So literally by the summer you could actually have a new play park if all goes to plan.
That's what we're hoping, is kind of by the end of August it will all be up and running and the children will be enjoying it. Hopefully the last bit of summer.
Highlights from the past 7 days. The Rutland Radio Podcast.
Hello Emma, this is Rob from Rutland Radio. We speak at last.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you very much. Are you a regular concert goer?
Yes, very much so.
Would you like to see Adele, Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Coldplay, Jess Glynn, James Bay, The Weeknd and Little Mix all performing on one night?
Yes.
A week tonight?
Yes, very much so.
You are going to the Brit Awards.
Really?
Really?
Oh my God, that's great.
So, yeah, you'll be catching the train at lunchtime, heading down, getting put up in a hotel, which is all booked for you, and you get to take a friend with you as well. So any idea who you'll take?
That will be my boyfriend.
What's his name?
He's Michael.
You and Michael have a fantastic night. You can go, I guess. I know you were really busy with work yesterday.
No, that's fine. Absolutely, I'll take the day off.
Okay. Have a fantastic night. Hopefully we can phone you the morning after so we can get your review on the show as well. You'll be in the balcony seats. You'll be seeing all that unfold.
Lovely, thank you so much. And yes, I'll let you know how it goes.
This is Rutland Radio.
I'm Yvonne Ainsworth,
I'm Patrick Ewing.
and that's the siren.
Indeed, the siren, I guess, you were waiting for.
We were home in bed and Patrick was making funny noises. We'd just gone back to sleep and I couldn't understand why he was making funny noises, and when I shook him and didn't get a response, I turned him over and realised that it was a gurgling noise coming from his throat, which I later learned was his airways closing down. And then he just stopped breathing and his eyes rolled back into his head, and I knew what had happened. But I knew then that I'd got to do CPR, which I'd done in training some 18 months previously in the village hall. But of course at that time we were in such a state, I couldn't remember whereabouts to do it, but I was pushing away on the chest. And then I thought, well, I'd better ring an ambulance. And so I dialed 999.
My name's Joshua Selwood and I'm an emergency medical dispatcher.
Now, you were the first person that Yvonne spoke to. Obviously, she would have been distressed, wondering what on earth she could do. And you actually enabled her to actually save her partner's life.
Yvonne remained exceptionally calm. That helped me give the directions that were required.
What were you able to do from that point?
Well, the patient was not breathing. He was actually on the bed at the time. I had to sort of get the patient off the bed because there's no point doing the compressions on the bed. It just wouldn't have the right effect. I advised her to basically grab his legs, drag him off the bed onto the floor so that the compressions could start, and that's what she did, thankfully, and it was that probably saved his life.
Until the crew arrived, which apparently was only 6 minutes, they came running in with all their kit and took over.
My name's Bridget Bettany. I'm an ambulance technician at Oakham Ambulance Station. We got called out to Patrick on our morning shift. There was an ambulance and a car turned up at the same time. We worked on him for about 50 minutes and then we arranged for the helicopter to meet us down the road and they flew Patrick over to Glenfield. And today we've met him and it's absolutely brilliant. I've been doing this job quite a long time and it's the first time I've ever met a patient that we've brought back, so it's been really, really magical today, really. It was 17 shocks.
17 defibrillator shocks is apparently quite a lot, and when I stabilised it was about 50 minutes apparently, which is quite exceptional to survive that and still, have all your faculties and so on. It is a miracle, and that's what my GP said to me. He said, "You're a walking miracle." And he said, only 1 in 100 people survive a cardiac arrest in the community, and in hospital it's 1 in 10. I was 23 days before I was aware of what was going on about me. But yeah, I'm particularly happy today to meet with the crew and the call handler as well, because he helped Yvonne so much in that first 5 or 10 minutes. But I've lived to tell another day, and I can only thank everybody, all the people that got me to the hospital, the air ambulance people, and all the people in the 3 hospitals that I was passed on through till I left, and I was only 7 weeks in hospital, which is pretty short apparently for anybody who's survived what I've had. I was quite keen to get out of the place on the 7th week, I can assure you. But the other point about that is that every day for 7 weeks, 49 days, Yvonne drove to and from home to the various hospitals wherever I was. So she was just, only had one focus in that time. And I reckon it's about something like 1,000 miles she drove in that 7 weeks. And that starts to sort of make you realise just the what a cardiac arrest can lead to, basically, in the simplistic terms. So,
We've been to meet the ambulance crew as well.
The air ambulance crew,
and they were amazing. They were so good on the day, and it was all instrumental in getting the right result. Was the way that the call handler, the paramedics, the air ambulance, and then the the care that Patrick had in the intensive care unit in Leicester, when he was really quite poorly for 2 weeks and wasn't expected to make it over the first couple of nights at all. But, here we are to tell the tale, and we're just very, very lucky people.
We are, yeah. And the other thing, I don't know whether you've heard us talking about it, but on Christmas morning I proposed to Yvonne, and we're getting married in Oakham Castle on the 10th of June. And we're looking forward to it, and we're spending a lot of time planning for that, of course. And so that's the outcome of it, really. And I'm pleased to be able to talk to people like yourselves and, see all the people today. It's been excellent.
So it all started with a first aid course at Ashwell Village Hall.
Yes, and next month because this has highlighted to us, the importance of knowing how to carry out CPR in our village, because we've got a lot of new people moved in. We're having another training session to bring people up to date, a refresher, and to obviously for people who are new to the village and have never seen the defibrillator or how it works, give them an opportunity to see it. And, really, I think it just for us highlights how important it's a simple thing. It's a very simple thing, and everybody needs to know how to do it, because we wouldn't be sitting here if I hadn't have done that, because those first 10 minutes, as we know, are the golden minutes, and Patrick wouldn't be sitting here if somebody hadn't shown me how to do CPR. Yeah. That is crucial. So I think that's really what we want to highlight. And also, the NHS, people are very quick to promote all these negative stories. Let's look at some positives, because,
we couldn't possibly fault them in any direction over all the time. And even now, we still go to see the doctor regularly, and I couldn't fault them at all. Just no way. Yeah.
The backup, since Patrick's left hospital as well, we've had all the time, haven't we?
Back a dozen times,
back and forth from hospitals,
elements,
and we feel supported. So very happy outcome. We're very lucky people.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
My name's Bridget Bettany. I'm an ambulance technician at Oakham Ambulance Station.
So tell us where you actually joined with Patrick's recovery. And
we got called out to Patrick on our morning shift. There was an ambulance and a car turned up at the same time. When we got there, Patrick had gone into cardiac arrest. We did our resuscitation. We managed to get Patrick back. We worked on him for about 50 minutes. And then we arranged for the helicopter to meet us down the road, and they flew Patrick over to Glenfield. And today we've met him, and it's absolutely brilliant. I've been doing this job quite a long time, and it's the first time I've ever met a patient that we've brought back, so it's been really, really magical today, really.
Now, you were there in 6 minutes, but you were working on him for 50 in total.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, we worked on him for 50 minutes before we actually managed to get him stabilised. We shocked him 17 times, which is quite a lot, really. We don't sort of do that on a regular basis. So he was a fighter. He didn't give up himself. And I think with Patrick fighting and us fighting at the same time, we had a positive outcome, really.
And you actually took over from Yvonne, who was working on him as, effectively, saving her partner's life.
Yeah, Yvonne did a wonderful job, very stressful for her. I believe she'd had some CPR training, and she put that into great practice. And if it wasn't for Yvonne, then maybe we wouldn't have been able to bring Patrick back ourselves. So big credit to Yvonne, brilliant job.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
My name's Joshua Selwood, and I'm an emergency medical dispatcher.
Now, you were the first person that Yvonne spoke to. Obviously, she would have been distressed, wondering what on earth she could do, and you actually enabled her to actually save a partner's life.
That's right, yeah. I mean, it is my job, basically, to remain calm, to instruct Yvonne on what to do whilst she was in the situation that she was in. So that's what I did.
So, for you, you must, you've got someone on the phone who's, so distressed because, that they're in an emergency situation. What kind of steps do you take then in that situation?
Well, as I say, I mean, there are techniques that you can use if you do get somebody that comes through that is hysterical and, repetitive persistence, so you'll say the same thing over and over again, and eventually they'll get the message, or you... so there's all things like that you can do, but as I say, Yvonne remained exceptionally calm, and as I say, that helped me in order to give her the directions that were required.
What were you able to do from that point?
The patient was not breathing, and he was actually on the bed at the time, and Yvonne was struggling to get the patient off the bed. So I was having to encourage her and try and ask her in a... it was a difficult situation, but I had to sort of get the patient off the bed because there's no point doing the compressions on the bed. It just wouldn't make wouldn't have the right effect. So as I say, I advised her to basically grab his legs, drag him off the bed onto the floor so that the compressions could start, and that's what she did, thankfully, and it was that probably saved his life.
How do you feel? I know you do this kind of stuff every day, but to actually meet those that whose lives you immediately affect.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing the job for 8 years now, and it's not very often that you do get somebody that writes in to thank all the staff that were involved in that job. So it makes me feel very privileged to know that I've helped her, and all I can say is that it's lovely when people like this do write in and do phone in and let us know that what a good job that we do, because as I say, we do a good job. We do an excellent job, it's had a positive outcome this time round, which is all good.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
My name's Eric Frierson, and we're from Leicester, People Centre Chinese Martial Arts Group.
And you performed in Leicester over Chinese New Year itself?
In Leicester, Northampton, Milton Keynes, all
Oakham.
Around. And now Oakham, of course, the end of a wonderful new year.
So tell us what the lion dance symbolises that we've seen tonight.
Chinese believe that it's a bringer of good luck, and on very special occasions like the opening of a new business or Chinese New Year, the idea is that it chases away any bad luck from the previous year and brings good luck for the forthcoming year.
It's a pretty energetic thing to be involved with, isn't it? Whether you're drumming, whether you're actually part of the lion.
Yes, every position is hard work for lion dance, but we are training Chinese martial arts, and this is why traditionally the martial artists have done the lion dance also. So kung fu players also do the lion dance.
And this is something, I guess, that's becoming more and more popular with Chinese restaurants, such as this.
Yes, we do all sorts, from very small noodle bars to very beautiful restaurants like this. Yeah, everyone wants good luck, and it's also good luck for us.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk. This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week.
It's Danny Vincent, and I run Dosh for Defibs charity.
Now, you've had incredible progress. How long has this been going now?
Well, we lost my nephew back in 2014, so we started it around summer of 2014, and it's just getting bigger and better every day. It's cracking. The amount of support we've got is fantastic.
Now, since then, you made a pledge, really, in his memory to get defibs everywhere.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we're getting there. We're still a long way off what I'd ideally like to see of Stamford, but we've done all the primary schools, the 6 within the primary schools. Welland Academy here today. External and internal defibrillators have been fitted. We're just waiting on the council to finalise the plans for the town centre. There'll be 5 going within the town centre and the rec. And then generally dotted around, we've got one down at Goshway Industrial Estate. That's already fitted and up and running. We've got one going in at the Cricket Club. Pub, we've got one going in at Casterton Service Station. Just generally cover as much area as possible, really.
And they really do work. We heard just the other day of a man who was saved by one in September. He had 17 shocks from one of these to actually get his heart running again.
Yeah, definitely. They do. They're not guaranteed. You know, at the end of the day, if someone's already flatlined, there's not a massive amount that you can do, but it's there to help. It's a massive fighting chance at the end of the day for somebody that's in cardiac arrest. It pumps their survival chances up to over 50%. So you can't really put a price on that. You know, you are the in-between of getting them to hospital and getting them the care that they need.
How much does each defibrillator actually cost to install? You've done so much fundraising.
We have, and luckily through the charity SADS and East Midlands Ambulance Service, they've come down in price. A complete external cabinet and defibrillator is down to $999, which is fantastic. It's gone from 1440 down to $999, and it's a brilliant saving. It means that a lot more people can get them. You know, they come with training. They're so easy to use. It's just a perfect package.
Because they tell you what to do, don't they?
Exactly, yeah. They're all fully automated. They tell you exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. You don't need to be trained to use them. The training is just a bit of a confidence boost, really, so that you know, actually, I can do it.
So, Dosh, for defibs, you obviously still need to raise money. How are you doing that at the moment?
Yeah, well, it's just about awareness, really. With us putting so many defibrillators out there at the moment, we haven't pushed so much for the donations and things. We've had a lot of fantastic companies come on board and donate enough for us to put another defibrillator in place. It's just through people doing marathons and different events that they've taken off their own back.
Valentine's run just the other week.
Yes, yeah, there's a charity dance coming up. I think it's about April time. A local man's decided he wants to put on a dance. Everything raised is going to come to us, which is fantastic. Glastonbury's back on again this year. That's been renamed quite aptly to Glastonbury. Fantastic for us. All the funds are going to come to us. It's great. The amount of people that get on board and say, we want to do something for you, is just brilliant. It's a proper community spirit.
And if you're on Facebook, it's so easy to find what you're up to, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're in the process of getting our website sorted. It's just Dosh with Defib. Search for us. All our locations of defibrillators and defibrillators that we know of around the area are listed on there. We keep different medical info and things that we find useful information. We push it out there. We try and do as much as we can, really.
Danny Vincent, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio. We're speaking to Danny actually as we're about to head on to another first aid course. People want to know how to help, don't they?
They do, yes. And like I've said, you don't need training for a defibrillator, but it's just a bit of a boost so that you've heard how it sounds, you know how simple it is to use. They're so easy. It's just a bit of a confidence boost just to show people you can do it. If you see it, you need it, you get on and do it.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Yeah, I was a fireman.
Right, so you had the big job of actually trying to keep the fire burning.
An express is easier than a goods train. It's like you driving your car around town, you use more petrol, don't you, than being on the motorway?
Yeah.
It's the same principle. It's brilliant on expresses. You're speeding and, non-stop. And it's dead simple, really. They're all good engines. Gresley's engines were well known for steaming.
I want to know if you cooked your breakfast on the shovel.
No, never.
Really?
It's a fallacy. It would get sucked. It would get sucked into the far old door. It would be gone in a second. The first time I ever went on it was express freight train. We had a V2 on, if you know what they are, Green Arrow class. I was, just starting and that. The gauge glass had broke and the firemen had got drenched for water, so they sent me down there. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just thought I was going to bring it to Loco. And I said to the driver, what are we doing? He said, we're right away to London when we're ready. I said, well, I've never been on one before. Oh, you'll be all right. He said, so away we go. I can't remember if you the old days when you stand near the fire and get your rear end hot near the fire, then you go and try and sit down and it'd be a bit hot.
Yes, I can imagine.
Well, they've got bucket seats in these, all Gresley's engines, and it was like that. Every time I went to sit down, I went, I couldn't sit on the seat. My rear end was hot, steaming. And then coming home, this was in the night, then it was getting daylight when we came home, and the driver kept saying to me, have you been this fast before? And I kept saying, no. And there was all this big long boiler in front jumping about, and I kept seeing these gaps in the rails. We're going to come off the rails. I kept thinking, we're going to come off the rails. I was frightened.
Because it was going so fast, I guess, as well.
Yeah, they're not like a coach. They don't ride smooth. The front end, all the boiler jumping about all over the place. And when I got home, I went to have a bath and that, and I felt a bit queer, so I looked in the mirror and all my rear end was all blistered.
Oh, crikey.
I was all burnt because I hadn't got the technique of the fire. It's like a furnace, the fire old door. All these things, we see on the videos and that, it's nothing like that. It's just a white hole. You can't see in it. There's a way of looking in seeing where the fire is, but it's just a white wall, the fire, when you're really going.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.